we must take a collective responsibility for the inequality, the unjust laws and systems created. God did not make us poor. Greed and abuse and power make us poor.
The great challenge is that economic and social mobility now has stalled out.
This increasing inequality is most pronounced in our country, and it challenges the very essence of who we are as a people.
People are working full-time and are hungry. People are working full-time in this country for very little money. They're not poor enough to get help. They don't make enough to get by. They're working while they're rationing their insulin, and they're skipping their meds because they can't afford food and health care at the same time. So shame on you.
When you look at the Gini based on people's take-home pay, in other words, what they actually have to spend after they pay their taxes and after they receive certain benefits from the government, what we see is that the U.S. is by far the most unequal amongst the OECD countries.
COVID-19 has really uncovered all of the fragilities across the U.S. economy and across our society in ways that we always knew were there, but really have become quite more pronounced in the face of this health crisis.
You know, when we got hit with this in March, immediately we saw a lot of our families, and pretty much families that are working, you know, several jobs to keep food in their homes, they were losing their jobs immediately.
It's amazing because we used to have this small program, and we used to have some families that had lost a job momentarily, but they would come in and come and go. But now we have a whole group of new people that have lost their job. We see a lot of men. Men did not come to the food program, very few men. But now we see young men coming into the food program. The numbers have gone up at least 6 times.
This pandemic has certainly exacerbated pre-existing economic inequalities and put a spotlight on glaring and appalling health disparities.
Rich kids are bubble wrapped. Rich people are bubble wrapped. We have good insurance, we have good jobs. In a pandemic, we can work at home. And it's the poor who get hit so much harder by all of these things that relate to no health insurance, not good health, not good jobs. And the pandemic has just put an exponential focus on that and added exponential costs as well.
Before COVID-19, we had about 37 million people in the U.S. living in food insecure households. Some of the latest figures that we're seeing is that 20% of people are reporting having had some food insecurity since February. What we have seen in African American households are, for every 5 individuals, 2 are experiencing food insecurity. For Hispanic families, that number might be getting closer to 50%.
This morning, as I was looking at my calendar and trying to, to wrap my head around what I had to do today, I was thinking about the kids in the school system being fed. That's a huge topic here in West Virginia.
Millions of children throughout the United States rely on the meals that they get through their school as their primary source of nutrition.
We
learned on Friday, March 13th, that we were going to close for 2 weeks. So we jumped into it and started serving meals the following Monday. Our numbers have grown since. Here at the elementary school, 46 of our families are free and reduced, so they rely on our school meals during the school year, let alone during this time when some families are out of work. They don't know when they'll be receiving an income again. So the school is so important to continue these services to make sure no child is food insecure.